Yo, what is up, everyone? Today I'm gonna be doing a little overview of the UAD LA-2A. It's an important compressor I think everyone should use. Not necessarily the UAD one, but any type of UAD LA-2A. So, let's get started. First of all, what even is a compressor? So the first thing you should do is picture a person standing next to you whose only job is to grab the loud parts of your voice so they don't jump out too much, and then they gently lift the quiet parts so they don't disappear. That's all compression is. You push down the loud moments and lift everything back up, and your sound feels steady, you know? Because when you talk, right, there's a lot of dynamics. Dynamics is like, okay, for example, imagine you're texting someone, right? And then you text them with all capital, and you're like, bro, why are you screaming at me, right? Now imagine you're sending someone a text back like in the paragraph. Some words are all lowercase and some words are randomly all capital. That's dynamics. So what the compressor is actually going to do is those capital words and those lowercase words, it's going to make them a bit more like medium. Why? Because it's going to even everything out. So the LA-2A is just a very gentle, very musical version of a helper that does that. It doesn't react like a robot. It reacts like a human with feelings, smoothing out your sound in a natural, breathing way. Remember, it does it very naturally. It's not aggressive. So why is the LA-2A special? Most compressors, they react instantly, like a robot pressing a button, just simply reacting. The LA-2A reacts slowly and smoothly, like a person gently guiding your voice. When you shout, it doesn't go, shut up, it doesn't smack you instantly. It eases you in, it calms you down like a friend gently putting their hands on your shoulder. When you keep singing loud, it holds you gently, like pushing back on someone trying to lean forward. The pressure's there, but it's kind. My bad. I'm a little like out of breath. When you sorry, my nose is clogged, so when you stop, it takes its time letting go, like someone slowly relaxing their hand after squeezing something. That slow release is the magic of the UAD LA-2A. I'm gonna keep on saying the UAD to LA-2A for that sponsorship, You feel me? So, what's the secret sauce of the LA-2A, Why did people fuck with it so much? It has this thing called a T4 cell. So it's a light sensitive sponge. Yeah, the plugin does not have this. Of course not. The original one does. But this is the reason why people keep emulating, It has that analog warmth. I'll probably make a video about that. But anyways, so inside the LA-2A is a piece called the T4 cell. Imagine it like a light sensitive sponge. When sound hits, it lightens up. When sound stops, it tightens up. When sound stops, it relaxes slowly. The more sound hits it, the tighter it squeezes. The squeeze releases in multiple slow waves, not all at once. This is why the vocals sound round, warm, not punty, and alive. Because the compressor isn't snapping, it's breathing. Do you need to know that? No, it doesn't matter because you're using a plugin, chances are. So, this is the UAD LA-2A. These are the knobs. I'm gonna be honest. When you first start producing, first of all, the DAW looks like a spaceship, and then every single plugin you use is another spaceship. It's a bunch of words. It's a bunch of knobs, and that's the thing. You have to learn. I mean, you don't have to because it comes with presets, and ultimately, the thing with making music is just make stuff that sounds good. So you could just run through presets and make it sound good. But running through presets is kind of boring. You know what I mean? And there comes a day in every producer's life when they say, hey, I'm going to learn how to use these plugins actually. So today we're going to learn how to do this. So there are 6 knobs on a UAD LA-2A. So the first one is this peak reduction. You see it, right? It goes from 0 to 100. So the purpose of peak reduction is how hard should I calm you down? Like imagine someone screaming. You turn it up and the machine pushes down more on the loud parts of the recording. So in context, we're going to be talking about vocals. It's going to push down the spikes in your vocal. It's going to turn it down. All right. It barely touches anything because this is a gentle compressor. Number 2, right here. Oh, that's number 3. Never mind. This is number 3. Number 2 is right here. This is the gain knob. What the fuck does that even mean, right? What is a gain knob, right? A gain is how loud should I make you after I calm you down? Because remember, when you push down the peaks, you're going to be lowering the volume. So you use the gain knob to bring and make your song louder. After the LA-2A pushes down your volume, turn this up until you're back to where you want to be. All right. Next, number 3, the meter knob. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know what this meter knob even meant, but what should the meter show you? It can show you how much is squeezing is happening or how loud the final output is. It's just a display which ultimately I say trust your ears. Remember, how do you hear compression? It's more like, are you noticeably hearing a difference? Like, for example, if I'm saying hello, hi, you know what I mean? That's like the high is a spike and that's going to turn it down. That's all you need to hear. Is everything a smooth line, essentially? Number 4, which is right, bro, I'm sorry. I messed up. I actually mislabeled everything. My bad. Because the gain is actually number 2. I mean, is actually number 3. And in the chart right here, I said number 3. My bad. My fault. But let's keep going though. So, for example, so number 5 is actually the compressor / limit switch, which essentially says how strong should the hug be. Compress equals gentle hug. Limit is a bear hug, a big strong hug. Both are smooth, not robotic, because that's just the way an LA-2A is. My bad, man. I did not realize I messed up like that. Bro, there's actually, I know in the original PowerPoint it goes up, but I guess in full screen it's not going. But I mean, number 6 is just the on and off button, bro. That's all it is. It's turning it into off and on. This is kind of like the majority, You just need to know the gain knob, the gain reduction knob, and that's it. So next, understanding peak reduction. So low peak reduction is I'm barely helping. The sound passes through mostly untouched. And all it's really going to do is all these plugins add a type of distortion, which is just flavoring. It's going to add a hint of warmth to your voice. Medium peak reduction is I'm smoothing you nicely. Peak reduction is right here. Right? Oh, no, right here. My bad, bro. It's the morning. I'm smoothing you nicely. It's a sweet spot for most vocals and bass. Natural control without squashing. And high, I'm hugging your voice tight. Heavy compression for thick, glued together sounds. Great for effects. So even with the peak reduction off, the machine is still going to give your voice a warm flavor because the tubes, in plugin case, the algorithm colors your sound. In my opinion, take it from someone that was like, super interested in plugins. Truth be told, I personally don't think the difference between LA-2A plugins, like in terms of flavoring the voice, matters too much. Hell, even the flavoring of like compressors and stuff in general ain't shit. The reason I say that is because while they can really craft, like, change the flavoring of your voice and really like change everything, kind of like when you edit pictures and you edit things little by little and you have like this great effect at the end. I think, ultimately, it doesn't matter nowadays. I think the curated saturation and distortion plugins achieve that way easier, and you don't have to spend money on a bunch of different variations for flavoring and shit. That shit does not matter. Just buy saturation distortion plugins and do that. I could totally understand how it happened in the past because, bro, these like things are like the actual compressors are so expensive that, like, analog gear is so expensive. So yeah, back then you would definitely have to sit down and say, "Yo, what am I gonna buy? I like the sound of this." But ultimately, the regular person isn't gonna be like, "Oh my god." Like the flavor of the voice is like, who's gonna notice the nuance? Like 99% of the time I mix, I'll be like super detailed and shit, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Like, it does not matter. Like, no one's gonna notice. I'm not gonna notice. Like, I stop after a while. I look back, I'm like, I spent all that time for nothing. It's not impactful. It's useful but not impactful. Like, in terms of like crafting and curating a voice, like, most people don't even have the headphones to really like pick that out anyways. So why do vocals and the bass love the LA-2A? Singers naturally get louder on some words and quieter on others. The LA-2A smooths this out in a natural, present ways. So whispers get lifted, shouts get tamed, tone stays warm around, and transitions feel like breathing and not snapping. Bass notes stay steady or they'll rumble and jump unpredictably. The LA-2A gently evens them out so the bass doesn't jump in volume. The slow attack and release keeps low end notes tight and controlled without losing their natural punch and body. So what even is the coloring effect of the UAD LA-2A? It's warmth without compression. Even without the compression, the LA-2A adds something special to your sound. The internal tubes act like a warm light bulb, making everything glow. The warmth is a cozy analog glow that feels like listening to vinyl records or vintage recordings. The thickness, your sound gets fuller and richer, like adding cream to coffee, more body and more depth. Soft saturation, it's a gentle harmonic coloration that makes digital recordings feel more alive and three-dimensional. So what's a simple possible workflow? So you set the peak reduction, you turn the knob until the meter dips to -3 and 5, right? During the louder parts. Then you adjust the gain. You turn it up until the vocals or bass sit nicely in the mix. Don't be afraid, you can't break anything. Remember, this is also a creative act, so you could do whatever sounds good. That's all that matters. And then choose your mode, right? If pick compress for gentle control, or pick limit for stronger, tighter control. Depends on the song. If your song you're going crazy, yeah, put limit mode. You know what I mean? Like, because sometimes you have to you know be creative with the vocal performance. Sometimes they're trying to like show a hurt and they're shouting. You know what I mean? So you figure it out and then listen and tweak. Key takeaways. The LA-2A is like a human helper, not a digital machine. It breathes with your performance. It's two knobs, man. It's two knobs that have a big result on your vocals. Peak reduction controls the squeeze. The gain brings the volume back up. And that's all you really need to know. It already comes with warmth, flavoring right inside, and you're good to go. That's it. Have a wonderful day.